What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the WeekFest video a little bit. It was kind of nice to be out there after a very long time. Actually, I don't remember the last time WeekFest was at our convention center, but they were saying something 800 plus days. That's crazy to think, man. But it was nice to be out there. It was nice to hang out with some of you guys. If you saw the video, I kind of just ended the video like at the last clip because both the batteries to my camera died, and pretty much just hung out the rest of the day. So today we are kind of tinkering with the K24 engine for the KRX, because if you guys don't know, we took that car to the track, and I did a couple boo-boos that led to the engine spinning the bearing, or at least is what I'm thinking it is, because it's knocking pretty bad and it does not turn over anymore. Now, we did go to the junkyard and we snagged this K24A2 out of a TSX that was wrecked on the driver's side. Wheel, knuckle, doors, quarters, it was all smashed. So I thought to myself, all right, well, the engine must have ran, and it had a lot of goodies still in the engine bay that this thing was serviced from Honda. But we ended up picking up this engine and it kind of just sat there for a cool minute. But today we scrubbed the shit out of it, and it is looking not pristine, but it's looking really good. So I got a lot of comments about how much did I pay for this engine. I don't know if I talked about it in the video, but I have the receipt here somewhere. Show you guys here how much I picked up this K24A2 for. And mind you guys, this is not on a sale. This is not on a discount or anything of that nature. This is what it is in the system. And in the system, because I opt to not take the transmission and all of the attaching components. So if you guys look right here, it says engine long block $195.99, and then a core is $29.99 after emission, environmental fees, and all that. It ended up coming out to about $270. So this long block right here, $270, I think is a great buy, because if you look at JDM K24s at importing shops, they're somewhere in about $700-800 right now, and your boy ain't got pocket that deep. So I opt for a junkyard motor again, because that motor came from the junkyard as well too. But this time I'm going to be doing a lot of like preventative maintenance stuff. Not in this video because I'm still waiting for a lot of stuff to show up, but just want to run you guys through it real quick. New head gasket is on the way. I got some new timing chain, timing tensioner. I'm not sure if I'm changing the guides just yet unless I find them, but we're changing everything on the timing side. The junkyard people were petty that they made me take off the water pump, so I took off the water pump. I need to order this one still. And I mean, I got a couple other little knickknacks that I'm going to be swapping out on this engine as well, and that one of it is being a baffled oil pan. So a baffled oil pan is like insurance if I'm going to be taking this car to the track a lot, because like I mentioned before, I have some plans for the KRX, and that is the reason why I took it to the track, because I wanted to get that feeling out of the way before we really have some fun. I don't think there's much to it as far as this video goes today. I just want to open up a couple of packages and double check some stuff to know where we are and if I need to order something else. So the other day I took off the intake manifold off the KRX, and I realized that, well, I can't use this intake manifold on that engine anymore because I cut off that water neck, right? And this intake manifold is originally for a K24A2, but to put it on a 20, you have to cut the water neck off. And I was like, man, I need to order a new intake manifold. So I hit up my sponsor, you know, MAXPEEDINGRODS, and unfortunately they don't carry this manifold anymore, nowhere on their website, and Macy also confirmed that they don't have it anymore. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to go on eBay and just buy a whole new intake manifold uncut. So after going through MAXPEEDINGRODS website, I found these pieces right here that apparently allows me to use a K20 manifold. A K20 intake manifold doesn't have the water passage, allows me to use a K20 manifold on a 24. So today we're going to be unboxing these two little pieces right here and see how it actually works, and see if we can get this intake manifold to work. So before we dive into that right now, big shout out to MAXPEEDINGRODS Macy, MAXPEEDINGRODS in general. Thank you guys for always coming on board with the build, and thank you guys for sponsoring today's video. We got a couple pieces that just showed up from them yesterday, and I am excited to see if this will work for what I'm trying to do, because that means I don't have to buy things 1,000 times. I'm gonna go ahead and just bolt this intake manifold up just to mock up. Nothing's going to be permanently bolted on because everything's going to come back out for the engine refreshment. So I'm going to go ahead and just slap on this one nut. No intake manifold gaskets. All right, so first package right here, I need to change my blade. Max speeding rod. So this piece right here is pretty much the section I cut off the intake manifold. This is the coolant passage that you know, it's connected to the intake manifold itself for the K24, and if you're using a K20 manifold on the 24, this little adapter billet piece allows you to keep that that hose that goes down to the thermostat housing, which is this one right here. Comes with the hardware, comes with the little adapter flange right here to keep this thing nice and tensioned, but there's like no instructions, so we're going to be winging this. So a 20 manifold doesn't have this extra section that goes to the coolant port right here, and I didn't realize this piece existed. So what this piece does is it bolts on to that missing section from the intake manifold itself, and it gives you this barb, right, which directs these coolant down to the thermostat housing, which I showed you guys a second ago. So it pretty much just goes on like this. This one lines up down there, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to cut any more, but it doesn't seem like this one is lining up. Now, I did do some research just now, and it shows that if you really wanted to, you could drill through this and then tap the cylinder head for the correct thread pitch for the bolt to go through, so that way you're not relying on this little flange. I don't know if I have the correct threader to thread the block. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about getting this thing secured just yet. I am going to do a little more research and see what kind of tools I have. If I could, I would be tapping this hole, so that way we can just use bolts instead of this little flange. Okay, so I shaved the intake manifold off a little bit and was able to scoot the billet adapter so we can get that little flange bolted down. So I did have to shift the intake manifold a little bit, but I did stick a longer bolt right here to make sure that we can still thread into that hole, and we got a nut right there. So intake manifold kind of secured and billet piece is attached. Now I think I don't know if I'm going to take off my throttle body because I can't access that hole right there. So what I need to do is, if I want this to be much more secured, I am going to drill out that hole right there. So this is threaded for a 12 mil Honda size bolt, and this is threaded for a 10, which they provide right here. So I gotta get access, take all this off, get access to that, drill it straight through, or at least punch through this billet and tap into the head just a smidge, so that way I can just take this off and then drill and tap that hole, so that way we can get this thing to sit firm flushed on here, and I don't have to remove this every single time I take off the intake manifold. Not that I would have a reason to. So drill. All right guys, so intake manifold is back on and the adapter plate is 100% secured without the spring and flange. So we got this right here tapped for the provided hardware, and then this one right here is also provided and bolted down. You can see nice and flat, nice and firm. I have not attached this piece yet because we're not permanently putting it on just yet until we get this engine all refreshed up. So I just want to quickly say, man, that little piece right there saved me a couple of bucks. Instead of buying another intake manifold with the coolant port on the intake manifold itself, that piece right there allowed me to use the cut K24 manifold, which was fitted on the K20A2, and it allowed me to obviously switch back over to the 24. And then that billet piece right there allows me to run that bottom hose to the thermostat housing. If you guys were ever in the situation of putting a 20 manifold on a 24, that MAXPEEDING rod billet adapter is what you guys are going to need. So go in the link in the description below, find it, use discount code YSTATIC, save yourself a couple bucks, and let's move on to the second piece. Now, I didn't really need the second piece, but I noticed that when I'm driving on the track, the car would run super cold when the fan's on. And what I mean by super cold is, I think the highest I got it with the fan on was 135, 140, and with the fan completely off, it was running like 165, 168 based off the gauge that was in the center vent. So this piece right here is, let me open it up first. So this piece right here is a billet thermostat housing, and the reason why I decided I wanted to run this is because it has all the ports that I need. So I do want to throw on a fan switch so that way the temperature will work like it should and turn on when it should, when the computer reads the temperature of the engine. Now the stock one doesn't have that at all. It's literally just a plastic housing, and normally when you do a K-swap into, you know, a non-K-swap chassis, you have to get one of these or a radiator that has the port for the radiator fan, coolant fan switch, and you know, obviously we don't have it on my previous setup. I requested one of these from MAXPEEDING Rod because I want to install the fan switch, like I said, to let it run like it should. And I figured because we're doing all this stuff to the new engine, we might as well get one too. So big shout out to MAXPEEDING Rod Macy for also sending this piece out right here. Never ran anything like this before, so it looks like obviously I'm going to use the original housing, just removing off this thermostat and housing itself from that. So this is a little tricky. It has multiple bolt holes. I guess this is universal between the other K series, although I don't know what the differences are. But I noticed that this hole right here is not big enough for the 10 mil. It doesn't even go in. So it looks like I'm gonna hog out this hole a little bit to slip this 10 mil through so we can thread it down. But the OEM hardware is actually too small, and I don't see any hardware provided with this kit because it looks like it is countersunk for Allen headed bolts. So I'm gonna hog that out real quick and get this thing bolted down. Okay, look, I'm an idiot. This is the package that came with the thermostat housing, and this allows you to run a -16 if you're running a -16 AN radiator. And in this case, I'm running a barb, so I'm gonna leave this one on here. But if you look, the hardware is freaking inside that. So I have Allen headed hardware. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take these out, switch them over, and get it secured. And there you have it, guys. Pretty straightforward. Just clock your thermostat housing and barb inlet before you secure it all the way down. Right now it's all loose because, like I said, everything is going to come back out. And that's pretty much all I've received from MAXPEEDINGRODS for the engine itself. And if you guys don't already know this, I am running the MAXPEEDINGRODS intake manifold as well for the K24A2, modified for the 20, but now it's back on the 24. This intake manifold has been on the car since last summer when we were building the car, and it has been performing really great. So if you guys are interested in any of the MAXPEEDING products you guys see in today's video, be sure to click in the link in the description below to MAXPEEDINGRODS. Look for some things that you may be interested in, and before you guys check out and use discount code YSTATIC, it'll definitely help me out a lot. And for those who have been buying using my discount code down below, I truly appreciate you guys a lot. I'm super stoked to get this engine up and going once it is ready to be up and going. It is going to be a challenge to get this engine in that CRX because of how tall this engine is, but I am ready to find out what all I need to do to get it to fit. I hope you guys are too. So I am going to wrap up the video right here. I don't think there's much more for me to do with this engine until parts show up. And once again, thank you to MAXPEEDINGRODS and MAXPEEDINGRODS Macy for the pieces to this engine. I truly appreciate you guys' support since you guys came on board last year. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, we do have one more package to show up, and it is going to be for this car right here, and we're going to do a full review on that as well. So that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and if you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for more CRX content, because this is on the chopping block, this is on the chopping block, that's definitely going to be on the chopping block. If you guys want to see some more CRX content, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.